let's go ahead and resume the file. Your save data is corrupted. No, it is not. Because I actually know how to save in Visual Boy Advance. I will show how to do it. Because people never understand this. Go to Emulator. It's below the recording window, but you go to Save Type. And once again, it's below the recording window, but you go to Flash 128K. And then it will save correctly. Anyway, now that I have become champ, about 40 things will happen all at once. Let's see. We get the SS ticket, which I will use at some point. I don't know if I'll use it in the next segment, but I'll use it at some point. Okay, so he buggers off. And, newsflash? Sure, yeah. Here we go. Emergency newsflash. I don't know why it's an emergency, but it just is. Oh my god, we've seen reports of a colored Pokemon in flight. What color did they say? And then I say yellow, and then I get a shiny one. But yeah, you get to pick which one. I think every time I've ever played Emerald, I've picked blue, so this time I'm going to pick red, just to be different. In case you are unaware, that determines if you get Latios or Latios as your roamer. And then the other one will appear somewhere else, and I will show this off if I can get the Game Shark code to work. Anyway, what else do we get here? Blah, blah, blah. Because I've been filling out the Pokédex so much. Oh, there's not... I wouldn't say that. Let's see. What non-Hoenn Pokemon are there? Aside from the Safari Zone, which doesn't really count. There is... Ditto. There's one Meowth that you can get from an in-game trade. A Sudowoodo, and Smeargle. I think that's it. Because, yeah, like I said, not counting the Safari Zone. But, because I beat the champion in this segment, and that wasn't good enough, I'm going to show off a couple extremely minor things, because I want to. The first one, I believe, is... what? Oh, Scott, what do you need? By the way, there's this place I want you to visit, too. It has a whole bunch of luck hacks in it, and you're probably not going to like it very much, but... Anyway... I think I want to go this way. Actually, I can just fly to Slateport. That's a lot faster, I think. Is it over here? Yeah. There's a new cave. It is the Altering Cave. And there are Zubats here. And guess what else is in here? If you guessed absolutely nothing, you are correct. Because you can search in here all day if you want. You will never find anything other than Zubats. So, what the hell is the point of this cave, you may ask? There was going to be an event thing. I think it was going to be like a bunch of little stations set up at stores that when you, like, connected your game to it, the Altering Cave would have different Pokemon in it. Basically a bunch of Johto stuff that ended up getting put into the Safari Zone in Emerald anyway. This cave also exists in Fire Red Leaf Green, I think in Island 7, maybe 6. I don't remember which. And basically the Johto Pokemon are really weirdly distributed in the 3rd gen, and I'll get into this again in a different video, but so they stuck some of them in the Altering Cave as a way for you to get them, except they never, ever implemented this. So, as it stands, the Altering Cave is a good way to EV train off Zubat. I think they give you speed. I don't really know. So that's that. And, because I feel like showing off minor things, I will also go over here to the Fossil Maniacs house. You may remember they were digging a hole back here. And, Did I ever revive my fossil? I never did I? No, I did not. Anyway. Yeah, there's a big cave back here, opens up after the National Dex. And in here you can find Whismur, and a few other things, including Ditto, one of the very few National Dex Pokemon that I mentioned. But Ditto is good because it helps with breeding, and Emerald added a few things with breeding. I believe this was the first game where you can hold an Everstone to pass down nature. That might be the only thing they added, actually, other than Flame Body and Magma Armor helping with the hatching times. Anyway, other than Dittos, if you keep going through this place, my god, it is long, you'll eventually come out underneath the desert and find the fossil that sunk into the sand earlier in the game. So you can get both of them in one playthrough. Isn't that exciting? It actually is kind of nice, because in Ruby and Sapphire you do have to trade for the other one, so that's that. Nothing else really to say about this cave. I don't know if there's any items in it. If you need Dittos, there you go. What else can I show off? Because obviously there's the SS title I can go on, which leads to the Battle Frontier, but I'm not going to do that yet. And the Safari Zone opened up a bit. Wherever the hell that thing... yeah, over here. I guess I can show that off, but... do I want to show that off in this video? No, I think this video is long enough. Yeah, video isn't long enough. Let me explain that a sec. After I record... shut up. After I went through the credits and everything, I actually recorded the past 7 minutes or however long it was. And then was gonna upload that all as one big segment, and then decided that, no, that's a terrible idea. Let me, record more, and then I'll just upload the Wallace fight as one video, and then this is another one. So this is just the random post-game stuff that isn't Battle Frontier or Trainer Tower. I don't know, post-game is gonna be... besides the Battle Frontier, there's a little Trainer Tower thing that I might do. I think it's pretty much identical to the one in Fire Red and Leaf Green, and it wasn't really that exciting there either. I did it in Fire Red Omega, but eh. There's an optional Super Boss, 3 guesses who that is. There's going after a bunch of legendaries, including the event ones that I'll have to hack the items for. And then I think that's about it. So this video is pretty much the other category. And so I'm going to be showing off the Safari Zone extension here. This area... let me talk to the people, I guess. Yeah, every single Pokemon here is from Johto. And when I say that, I mean they're between 152 and 251. Some of them actually aren't in Johto because Gold and Silver were done stupidly that way, where Houndour and Murkrow and that crap wasn't actually found there. But, anyway, I came with Wailord so I can use Surf and Rock Smash so I can find all the Pokemon here. I'm not going to find everything, but I'm just going to see what I come across after I check for items and whatnot. Let me smash the rocks, see if I get lucky. Come on. Okay, I did not find anything in the rocks. You can find Shuckle in the rocks. But let me go ahead and get on bike and just see what crap I run into. Basically, this area only has Johto Pokemon because they were kind of given the shaft in terms of, like, availability in the third gen. Because if it's from Kanto, then you can get it in Fire Red Leaf Green. A couple are exclusives to one version, but basically you know where to find them. If they're from Hoenn, they're in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Again, there's some exclusives, but there you go. Johto stuff is kind of just thrown into all the games haphazardly, and it all works out in the end, but it's really, really awkward to try and figure out what game everything is in. Because some of it is already in the Hoenn decks, like, let's see. I just caught these. Chinchou, Natu, Marill, Wobbuffet, Girafarig, that kind of stuff. Some of it is in the Sevi Islands in Fire Red and Leaf Green. And some of those are exclusives also. There's actually quite a bit of exclusives there, and I can never remember what games which come from. But, then there's a handful of others that just sort of aren't anywhere. And so those were the ones that were put into Altering Cave, and also put into the Safari Zone, because I guess they decided against the Altering Cave thing. Which I'm kind of glad they did, because that would be a really stupid mechanic. So, yeah, Emerald has a lot of Johto Pokemon that you can't get anywhere else. It's just kind of weird that way. Colosseum was actually released before Fire Red and Leaf Green, and it was supposed to sort of cover all the Johto Pokemon, and it basically did. I think the only ones that it didn't have are, like... There's the ones that are already in the Hoenn Dex. I'm never going to catch this Miltank. Yeah, there's the ones already in the Hoenn Dex. Unknown, Lugia, and the evolutions and baby forms of various Kanto Pokemon. Those are the only ones you can't get. But then, Game Freak just kind of decided that, like, hey, we shouldn't require the GameCube games, let's stick them in the other games too. So, Colosseum ultimately isn't necessary, but it's a good way to round out the collection. It's the easiest way to get the Johto starters, for sure. Because, I mean, like I said, you can get them in XD, you can get them in this game if you fill out the entire Hoenn Dex, but God help you if you... Like, if you do that, you still only get one of them. It's a gigantic pain in the ass. I think that's about it for this section. So yeah, it's the easiest way to get those. It's the easiest way to get the legendary beasts, because it's one per file for Fire Red and Leaf Green, and if they use Roar, then they disappear forever because of the game glitch, so that kind of sucks. And I'm out of Safari Balls. I'll run back in, though. But the weird thing about Colosseum is that it, like, goes really far out of its way to not include any Kanto Pokemon in it. And I don't really know why it does this. Because it's mostly Johto stuff. There's some Hoenn in there, but I don't think there's a single Kanto Pokemon in that game. And I guess it's like, oh, we're gonna release Fire Red and Leaf Green soon, we should not put them in this game. But it's just kind of dumb. So, like, you start out with Espeon and Umbreon, which, logically, you would be able to breed for an Eevee and then get the other evolutions that way. But, Ditto doesn't exist yet, and the starters are specifically made to always be male in that game. They're like, you want an Eevee? Tough shit. Get Fire Red and Leaf Green. And, same thing with Hitmontop, except that one's always male to begin with. And the stupidest one is, the E-Reader Scizor is also always male, because they don't want you to get a Scyther. In case you happen to have the ability to get the E-Reader Scizor, God forbid you get a Scyther shortly before Fire Red comes out and you can get one from that. It just seems really odd to me. I don't know why they did that, but they did, and it's an interesting little bit of trivia, I suppose. I think I've, found most of the stuff you can find in the grass. I'm not gonna pull up a list and double check, but I think this is basically it. And then if you surf, you can find Wooper and Marill, but you can find Marill anyway. Probably not gonna find a Marill now. Yeah, there it is. If you fish, you can find Remoraid, or Remoraid, however you pronounce it. Just kind of take my word for that one. So, I don't know what the point of all this was. Basically, I just take an interest in Pokemon availability stuff. That's kind of my thing. So, I felt like rambling about it for a while. I do have to say, overall, the 3rd gen is probably the hardest to get a complete Pokedex in, just because of how well spread out everything is. Like, with Diamond and Pearl, there's a lot of stuff that you need other games to get, but you can still get around, I think, 70% of the Pokemon without any other games. In Fire Red, it's like 45%. And even in Emerald, I think it's only around like 55, something like that. I don't know the actual numbers. So, it is the one generation that I've never... Well, other than 5th. I haven't done 5th yet, but I've done 1. I sort of did 2, even though it involved a lot of game sharking. I did 4. I never did 3, except for on ROMs. And that is because of all the trading you have to do. But, bit of advertisement here. If you are interested in a 100% Pokedex 3rd generation LP, look no further than the LP that my friend Cephazon or Cephazon is about to start, or possibly has started by the time I've uploaded this video. So I will put a link to his channel in the description, and next time I guess I'll be going on the SS title and heading to the battle frontier. So see you then.